Hi folks, this morning I want to work on some miniature succulent bonsai. So here are my miniature succulent bonsai. Here on the left I've got a Sedum furfuraceum, or Bonsai Sedum. And I actually already worked on that. I don't really need to do much work on that, or any. Right here we have a Crassula ovata Gollum. Then in the back here we have a Portulacaria afra Lilliput. Another Portulacaria afra Lilliput. And in the back here are two Crassula ovatas, and I'm not sure of the variety, but they're a very dwarf variety. They get even more dwarfed when you keep them in these small pots. So I'm going to prune some of these, and I think this one I might repot too, and I'll explain why. So I'm not going to do any work on it, but I thought I'd talk a little bit about Sedum furfuraceum, or Bonsai Sedum. This is a neat little sedum, and you can get it to grow upright like this. After a while, these will keep growing and they kind of start to droop over. But it does handle pruning okay. I pruned it right there, and it definitely atypical, and I don't know how well I'll really be able to train this into a really neat bonsai. I don't think it really, like if I cut off this top right here, I don't know if it would actually resprout from there. So yeah, I don't know. It's not going to become an amazing bonsai someday, but it's still a neat species. It is not cold hardy below freezing. I think it's zone 9 that it's cold hardy to, so tender. And yeah, so I already cut this part off. It actually heals over and it cuts pretty well. And then propagating that stem. It was really long and it is drooping over, so I already pruned it. Alright, now on to the Portulacaria Lilliput. And I did a video on these. It's escape rooted quite a bit, so I'm going to trim that. I did a video on creating a bunch of these about a year ago. And actually I've sold most of them. I kept 2. But yeah, I'm just going to root prune this one a little bit. Make sure the drainage hole is clear, which it is now. And I don't really have a styling plan for this, but I do know I want movement. And so I'm going to go ahead and just take off a lot of these long ones right here. And honestly, Portulacaria don't do great for me. I don't know, they look a little yellowish to me. And they just don't grow too quickly, but part of that is because this is the Lilliput variety, so it has extremely small leaves for Portulacaria, and it is slow growing, so it might simply be that. And it's also, I mean, it's slow growing too because it's in this tiny pot, obviously. And I kept this one and another one just because I especially liked them, and just sold the others. Let's see. Yeah, so again, I don't really have a styling plan. I guess I'm just pruning this one into a ball shape, pruning everything back. But yeah, we'll just leave that one there. And here's the Gollum. And I don't think I'm going to do anything to this one either. I think I am going to take off this long old leaf. And I could top these, and maybe I should, but I'm kind of just enjoying the way it looks right now, so I'm going to just let it grow. So that's that for that one. So here's maybe my favorite one of the bunch. Crassula ovata, some dwarf variety. I think a viewer said once they think it might be Crosby's compact, but I've had this one for quite a while now, and it's of course cutting off my other larger one that I recently repotted. But yeah, I think I am going to shorten these extensions down. So this is a case where it looks better now than it will after I prune it, but I want to keep this one small. So it's gonna look pretty bare after I'm done with it. And I found, unfortunately, you know, when I prune this, it doesn't always bifurcate. So it's kind of not always worked out for me. But yeah, see, it looks a lot worse now. But here in about a month, it'll have new little leaves. Yeah, and eventually I might have to prune it down more. Not have to, I might just do that. But yeah, I have all these little tiny cuttings that I'll propagate because I really love this variety of jade. It's a neat one, and I don't really see it, you know, at Walmart or other nurseries much. I usually just see larger Crassulas. All right, on to the next. So here's another Crassula. And this one I've really let go a long time. I think I'm going to be super aggressive with it. It was getting really top heavy and it's in this tiny little pot. Yeah. But it's got a cool little base going here, so I think it'll look pretty nice when it gets those new little leaves. And eventually this is just a cheap little plastic pot. I want to move this into a better pot, but keep it small. So these are really nice cuttings. And last I have my little Portulacaria that's styled to look like a conifer. And this one really isn't doing that great. The new leaves are pretty yellow, and I'm gonna do just a few little prunes on it today. But I have a theory as to why it's not doing as well as like the other one. And I think it's because it never escape rooted in the bottom here. Never did that for some reason, so I think I am gonna repot it, and I think part of it is these little pots came with really fine mesh that goes in the bottom, and I want to replace this really fine mesh with something a little more porous, so the roots can have a better chance of escaping. But I'm gonna just do quick little trims on it. Keep that conical shape. So I'm going to take this one all the way back. And yeah, let's be consistent. Take that one back. I think that's good for the top pruning. Yeah. Leaf gonna fall off. But yeah, this one just really hasn't thrived. And yeah, I just think, you know, it's just in this little pot. But that's okay. Honestly, this is basically a finished bonsai that I'm just maintaining. Even though it was instantly created, I don't need the trunk to get any thicker. But I do want it to be more healthy. I'd like to grow better. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it out now and just replace that mesh. So I need to take that. There we go. So yeah, it certainly grew roots, lots of roots. Get this mesh out. Oh yeah, I had it wired in there, anchored in there. Okay, that's right. Must have wrapped this wire around the top. Oh, we might as well just take that out. Okay, let me get my little scissors to cut this. So not bad root growth, but not great root growth. So I'll prune a few of these roots. Slightly. So yeah, I'm gonna go get some mesh. See, this is very super fine. I'm gonna get some of my other mesh that's coarser and hopefully get this thing growing out of the bottom of the hole here. Alright, got some different mesh, bigger holes. And yeah, I think I will prune this root. It's really long, shorter. Maybe shorter. And go ahead and just place it back in there. And Coffee and Bonsai with Tom. I remember sharing that he's had good luck with Portulacarias and Akadama. Surprisingly so, I think he was surprised. So I'm gonna go ahead and put, I'm gonna make sure I have a fine particle size in here for this little bonsai, and I'm using high fired calcined clay. But we'll see how it does in this growing season. If it struggles again, and again, it's not really, I don't know, maybe struggling is too like harsh of a word. It was doing okay. It was growing and it grew roots. It was very apparent, but it doesn't grow with more vigor this growing season. I think I will maybe look into changing the pot, because for whatever reason the one in this pot, and maybe it's just because it's bigger, it just grew so many more roots and just grew with so much more vigor that maybe I just need to find a different pot for this. But we'll see. I'm just kind of troubleshooting. Unfortunately, or maybe not unfortunately, but just the nature of bonsai is you know, if you troubleshoot something, it takes months to find out what results you're gonna get often. So yeah, we'll go with that. See if I have it potted pretty upright. Yeah, it's good. I might do the Nigel Saunders rock trick with this one. It's a little bit wobbly until it gets established again. But yeah, I think that's it. So here's the final shot of the tray assembled again. And again, one of those situations where, you know, especially these Crassulas, they look better before I prune them. But necessary step to keep those things small, because I don't want them to get too big. And did put some rocks at the bottom to keep this one stable in the pot. Hoping that this one will do a little bit better this growing season, but we'll see. And yeah, again, not sure how I'm gonna style that one, but it's on its way. And I wanted to show all the cuttings that I plan to propagate, the 3 Portulacarias. And so what I'm gonna do with these, I pruned off some of the lower leaves, and now I'm gonna just let them dry out for a few days and callus over. So if I planted them right now in bonsai soil and then watered them deeply, they might rot. So I actually want these to callus over, and they'll be fine. I mean, these could just sit out for a week, 2 weeks, and they'd still be viable. That's the neat thing about succulents. They have all this stored water and energy in their leaves, and they'll be fine. So I'll let them dry out for about 3 days, then I'll plant them in bonsai soil. I have no doubt they'll root, especially for whatever reason, like Portulacarias don't like me, but Crassulas seem to do fine in my care, although they do grow slowly, especially this variety. But I have no doubt that every single one of these will root. No doubt about that. I've done this process now dozens of times, and they always root. Anyway, hope you're doing well, and until next time, happy bonsaiing.